Hi guys, it's Michelle again. I am back for video number 2. I wanted this time to talk about going into my first surgery, what that was like, and I think in my first video I had just kind of jumped around a lot. I just really honestly have so much to talk about on this subject regarding my particular journey that maybe somebody can relate to or is wondering about. Maybe they're going through it themselves and wondering about it, or have a friend or family member and they don't know anyone else who's been through it. So in the last video, I did cover quite a bit, but I wanted to backtrack and talk about the day that I actually was diagnosed and given my diagnosis. When I was told, as I had said before, I pretty much already knew. I don't know how my soul knew that I had breast cancer, but I went in prepped for that mentally. I was like ready to handle it. I wasn't going to break down and cry, and I was just going to, take that information like a champ. And on the way home from Planned Parenthood, because Planned Parenthood is where I had to go to get the results of my mammogram and sonogram and biopsy. On the way home, I pulled over and I called my mom. Sorry about the weird lighting. I'm obviously not a professional, but that's the sun coming in. So I stopped and called my mom, and I had a moment where I didn't really like break down sobbing, but I did start crying a little bit. I think my heart just broke a little bit. It's the moment she started crying. That really upset me, and I don't know, I was trying to be strong for her. Like, I didn't want her to think the worst and her to get into that headspace. So I did have a moment there where I was just kind of like getting sucked into like the, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my gosh, what if I die? That sort of thing. And so we had a good talk, and then I got home and I had, a couple of days to process exactly what I was feeling, because it was a huge kick in the stomach, even though I knew. It was a huge kick in the stomach. And what I came to the conclusion of is that although I had been diagnosed with breast cancer, A, it had been diagnosed early. B, I am not a child. And I think what kept me so positive is that I'm constantly hearing about little kids getting all kinds of cancer these days. And that literally breaks my heart. Like, it affects me so deeply. I don't have kids, but just seeing, advertisements on TV. I've had some friends whose children who have had cancer. Some of them have passed. And just to be a child and not know like why you're going through these things, how come you're being poked and prodded at, why do you hurt somewhere? And it's obviously where the cancer is. How come you have to go to the doctor so much? Why do you have to have a surgery? It's like all of these zillions of questions that a little child, anywhere from the age from like 1 year old to, I don't know, maybe like 5 or something. Cause I think after that they can grasp if their parents explain. But to be like a little munchkin and have to go through all those things just is incredible. So that kept me in check, because I was like, I'm an adult. I know what I'm going through. I know what we have to do to fix it. And it made me really super grateful. Like, through this whole process, I think gratitude has been the biggest thing for me personally. That's what I have found. I've found that I'm so grateful, because honestly, if it was my time to go, look at all this time I've had here. Like, I've gone on crazy awesome adventures. I've made some amazing connections with other humans. I have had, so much love from my family. Like, there's so much that I've done. And I do get emotional talking about it, because I just keep thinking about when kids have it, like they haven't had any time here. It's just not fair. So for me, I was like, well, look at all this time I've been given. You know, I've had an amazing ride so far. So if it was my turn to go, then I was okay with it. You know, I wasn't sad about it. For some reason, I just was like, I have had a fucking great ride while I've been here. So, I mean, the other thing too is like, you have to realize that a lot of people don't get the chance to say goodbye. You know, I mean, I've had it happen in my family where one of my family members will go to sleep and then not wake up the next day, you know, because their heart gave out in the nighttime or, you know, whatever happened. So I was really, really grateful that if it was my time to go, I had time. I mean, that is a luxury. So those things, putting both of those things into perspective for me just was like the biggest ray of light. And it made me, you know, understand and cope and process and just be really grateful for what I have had so far since I've been here on the planet. And that really got me through. I mean, it still gets me through, honestly. You know, when I start to get in like a sad kind of space, I don't stay in it for but a few minutes maybe, because I'm like, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. So that's how I view that. But I'll go back to having the diagnosis. A couple days pass. I'm scheduled for my surgery. Like I said, it happened so quickly. So when you go and check into the hospital, they make you, first of all, you have to remove everything. I wear a retainer, and like, you have to remove your retainer, which is weird. I'm like, no one's gonna be in my mouth. What does that matter? But you have to do it. So like, you have to remove everything. And then on top of that, they make you shower with this weird soap. Like, you have to be completely, I don't know if it's a disinfectant. I don't know what it is. It is a very weird process. And then you're in your room by yourself. Your anesthesiologist comes in and gets some, I don't know what it is that they're hydrating you with. They're just poking you with the needles. And, you know, you're just sitting there. And I literally had to sit there for about 3 to 4 hours just waiting. They do let you keep your phone for a minute until right before your surgery. So I had my phone that I could mess around on or watch TV, and something that they gave me made me really drowsy. So I crashed the fuck out. I was out. And then the nurse came in and she said, you know, I'm here to wheel you to your surgery. So before the surgery, you're wheeled into this other area of the hospital, and depending on where your cancer is, with mine being in the breast, I didn't know this, but they have to put radiation in that particular area to illuminate all of the veins and whatnot that are going to need to be taken out. The lymph nodes, everything, I guess, gets illuminated from this radiation that they put inside of you in that area. So when you go in, that hurt like hell. It hurt so badly. That was a big needle that was just stuck in my boob, and you lay on your, they move you from your bed, rollaway bed, to like this other, I don't know, it feels like a little closet kind of, and these things close in around you, and you just have to lay there, and it's pretty uncomfortable. And I had to lay there for over an hour. It takes that long for the stuff to kind of infiltrate whatever areas that they're supposed to, so that they make sure to get everything out in surgery, because it's illuminated so they can see. And at that point, I had a breakdown too, just laying there by myself and, you know, just getting in my head and, you know, swimming around in all these crazy thoughts like, holy shit, I can't believe I have breast cancer, and I can't believe I'm about to lose my boobs, and oh my gosh, this is real life, and this is really crazy. And I just like started crying. And I was like, I wasn't, you know, making a big slobbery mess of myself, but I was definitely having the sniffles. And so the nurse comes in and she was like, oh, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay. And she started talking about, you know, something in her life to make me distracted, and I pulled it together. it was just a huge reality check for me at that point. I think it just kind of really sealed the deal once I was in there getting ready for that first surgery. So that was beyond stressful. And then from there, you're moved. Once you get all that in the area that they need it in, you're moved to the OR where the surgery is going to be done. I'm trying to like replay everything that happened. You're moved to this ginormous room that's like bright lights, those big giant like alien lights, you know, the ones that shine like the sun. There's this huge one over this little skinny what looks like a sled. It was really crazy. It honestly looked like I was entering a spaceship. I could have just been on the meds that they gave me too, but that's what I remember. Just this like bright room, bright white, everything is white. Everyone's wearing white. There's masks and the head things and the gloves. And I just was like, holy, I feel like I'm getting on a spaceship. And so they move you from the bed that you were put on onto this little sled. And literally you have to lay like this. It's so uncomfortable. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's like this skinny. So if you have any other body parts that are not going to fit on there, you kind of just like, it's weird. So the doctor, my surgeon, was like, okay, you know, everything's going to be great. We're going to take this out for you. Everybody in here cares about you, and we want you to be better. We want you to get better. We're going to help you get there. I need you to count from 10 backwards for me. And I think I got to 8. And I was like, out. So I just remember being woken up one time after the surgery for somebody to tell me we couldn't get a hold of your contact, and then I passed out again. I'm not even sure why they woke me up to tell me that, which was very fishy, but so yeah. And then the next time I wake up, my mom's there and the nurse is there, and I was in the bed, and I guess I was babbling all kinds of crazy stuff from what my mom says. Of course, I don't remember any of that either. But I instantly, for some reason, I'm sitting up in the hospital bed, you know, I've got like my IVs and stuff, and my legs are out in front of me. And for whatever reason, I was like, I'm just going to get up. And so I just threw my legs off the bed, and I was going to get out of the bed. Crazy. I don't know what they give you when they do surgeries is nuts, because it turns you into another person. Wacky stuff. So I do remember throwing my legs over, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. And I stood up, and I was like, I was going to puke, because the anesthesia that they give you, it really makes you pukey and dizzy and sweaty, and it's just bizarre. So the nurse was like, no, you have to sit down. You just relax. You stay right there. We're going to get you ice chips, you know, just stay there. So I definitely did. My mom was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I was going to go. And she's like, no. So my head, I'm always like, okay, gotta go all the time. And I guess even after the surgery, even on drugs that they gave me for the surgery, I was still like, okay, next, gotta go. Oh gosh. So, that happened. Okay. And then I got home. I don't remember any of getting home. Thank God my mom was there. Love you, Mom. So from that point on, you can't move your arms but like this. They call it T-Rex arms. So you can't move at all. You're like stuck working with stuff like this. You can't drive. You can't pick anything up. You're in really a head fog, like for, I don't know, 4 to 6 days where you don't remember things, and things may happen and you just don't recall. So there's that. And then from there, you kind of have a ton of pain, obviously. And I will post 2 pictures that I have, or a picture. Maybe I'll save the other one for later. But yeah, the medications, obviously, that they give you help you with that. And on the next video, I do want to talk about like CBD products, because I did try those. And I think that's where I'm going to leave off with this one, because moving into like the fact after I get home, or after I got home, is like a whole other story. So that's it for video 2. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Like, 100 miles a minute again. But that's where I'm gonna leave this video. And obviously, if you do have any questions for me, I am more than happy to answer. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just speaking on my particular journey with breast cancer. So if you liked the video, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe. If you know anyone going through what I went through and they just want to know a little bit more about it, they can check me out too. So I will see you next time.